You feel it, don't you? That very inexplicable feeling that something bigger, something significant, is about to enter your life. Perhaps it's a fleeting coincidence that made your heart skip a beat, or a repeating number, a sudden encounter, an unexpected offer that seems too good to be true. This isn't just a figment of your imagination. It's the universe. It's the very field of limitless possibilities knocking at your door. It's saying, you have been chosen. You've been chosen not for trials, but for your greatness. And this moment, this realization, can change your life. Forever, forever. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a world-renowned researcher in neuroscience, epigenetics, and quantum physics, has spent decades studying the incredible human ability to go beyond oneself, rewrite one's destiny, and create a new reality. And today, drawing on his profound insights, we will delve into one of the most captivating topics: how to awaken to the language of the universe, to those signs and synchronicities that indicate you are ready for something truly important. We will explore how, according to Dr. Dispenza's teachings, these seemingly random events are a reflection of your growing inner coherence, your resonance with your desired future. And most importantly, you will learn not just to passively wait for these signs, but to actively create the conditions for their appearance, how to learn to decipher them and use them as a compass on the path to your highest potential. This journey will change your perception of reality. We will explore, first, the science of synchronicity, how Dr. Dispenza explains the involvement of the quantum field and your own brain in creating these signs. Second, overcoming the noise of consciousness, how by following his methods to quiet the analytical mind and tune into the subtle signals of the universe. Third, why, from Dr. Dispenza's perspective, you are an active creator, not a passive receiver of signs, how your inner state literally attracts these signs. And finally, deciphering the language of the universe and turning a sign into action, how to develop intuition and transform these messages into a catalyst for real change based on his practical teachings. Prepare yourselves, for what you learn today may be that very sign, that very push you've been waiting for so long. Part 1. The science of synchronicity, the laws of the universe, and your inner compass. Many of us have encountered the phenomenon of synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences that seem too purposeful to be mere chance. And although this term was coined by the great psychologist Carl Jung today, thanks to breakthrough research in quantum physics and neurobiology, to which Dr. Joe Dispenza has dedicated his life, we can assert, this is not mysticism. This is the work of fundamental laws of the universe, in which you, your consciousness, play a key, active role. Dr. Dispenza teaches us to imagine the quantum field not as emptiness, but as a limitless, vibrating ocean of energy and information. It is the field of all conceivable and inconceivable potentials, all possible realities existing simultaneously as pure possibility. This field is intelligent. It responds. And you, your consciousness, your energy, are an integral part of this field. When you begin to think differently, feel differently, act differently, you, as Dr. Dispenza explains, literally change your electromagnetic signature. You send out a new frequency, a new signal into this all-pervading field. And what happens next? According to the law of resonance, which works in physics as well as in life, like attracts like. Your new, changed frequency begins to resonate with those potentials in the quantum field that correspond to it. And then, as if by magic, signs begin to manifest in your life, those very synchronicities. It could be an unexpected meeting with a person who will help you realize your dream, information that comes exactly when you need it most, opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. But how is this connected to our biology? Here, according to Dr. Dispenza, coherence, the harmonious, coordinated work of your heart and brain, is crucial. When you consciously cultivate elevated emotions, gratitude, love, joy, inspiration, appreciation, your heart begins to beat in a very orderly, coherent rhythm. This rhythm creates a powerful electromagnetic field, which, as research he refers to shows, is thousands of times stronger than the brain's electromagnetic field. And this powerful field of the heart has a direct influence on the brain, bringing it also into a state of coherence, In this coherent state, your brain functions at its peak. Neural networks become more flexible. You gain the ability to see new connections, think outside the box, and move beyond habitual patterns. And, crucially, as Dr. Dispenza emphasizes, your pineal gland is activated in this state. Ancient cultures rightly called it the third eye. This small gland in the center of your brain is a kind of biological antenna, extremely sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. When your heart and brain are coherent, when you are tuned to the frequency of your future, your pineal gland is able to receive information directly from the quantum field, those very signs, those very intuitive insights that correspond to your new state of being. Therefore, understand, the sign you've been waiting for is not something external, randomly fallen upon you. It is, as Dr. Dispenza teaches, a direct response from the universe to your inner transformation, to your growing coherence. It is proof that you have begun to vibrate in unison with your new, desired destiny. The universe seems to be telling you, I hear you. I see your intention. I feel your energy. Keep going. This is not passive waiting for a miracle, but an active, conscious dance of co-creation with the limitless field of possibilities. Part 2. Overcoming the noise of consciousness. How to hear the whisper of the universe. If the universe, the quantum field, constantly communicates with us through signs and synchronicities, why then do we so often remain deaf to these messages? Why do these subtle signals pass by, unnoticed, misunderstood? The answer, which Dr. Joe Dispenza gives, lies in what he calls the noise of our own consciousness. For most of their lives, ordinary people live in a state of survival, not in a state of creation. Their brain is overloaded with analyzing the past, regrets, resentments, and at the same time, it projects these same patterns into the future, worrying, being anxious, expecting the worst. This is the work of our analytical mind. It constantly evaluates, criticizes, doubts, compares itself to others, tries to control everything. This restless analytical mind, like an overly loud radio turned up to full volume, completely drowns out the quiet, barely perceptible whisper of our intuition, those subtle signals that come from the quantum field. It generates mental chaos that makes us blind and deaf to the language of synchronicities. Added to this is chronic stress, the scourge of modern society. When we are under stress, our body literally switches to fight or flight mode. Survival hormones, adrenaline, cortisol are produced. Our attention narrows to the extreme. We focus only on perceived threats, on problems, on what we lack. In such a state, as Dr. Dispenza explains, we are physiologically incapable of perceiving new opportunities, incapable of seeing the subtle connections and patterns that could show us the way. We are literally cut off from the limitless field of information and energy. And, of course, we must not forget the programs of our subconscious. From early childhood, and sometimes even in utero, we absorb certain beliefs about ourselves and the world, form emotional reactions and behavioral patterns. Many of these programs, instilled in us by significant adults or traumatic experiences, are long outdated and no longer serve our development. But they continue to operate on autopilot, like a computer virus, determining our perception of reality and our reactions. If your subconscious firmly holds the program, I am unworthy of success, money is evil, or the world is dangerous and unfair, then even if the universe sends you the most obvious sign of luck or an opportunity for growth, your subconscious, as Dr. Dispenza teaches, will find a way to distort it, devalue it, sabotage it, or simply ignore it. These programs are dense filters through which we look at the world. So how do we break through this multi-layered noise? How do we tune our inner receiver to the frequency of the universe? The answer that Dr. Dispenza offers, and which has changed the lives of thousands of people around the world, is the regular practice of meditation. But he is not talking about the kind of meditation that is merely a relaxation technique. He is talking about meditation as a powerful tool for going beyond the analytical mind, for changing dominant brainwave patterns, for consciously entering the operating system of our subconscious. When you regularly practice meditations designed by Dr. Dispenza, you learn to calm your analytical mind. You become an observer of your thoughts, not getting involved in their content, allowing them to float by like clouds in the sky. This creates a precious inner space of silence and peace. Consciously change your brain waves. From the usual beta waves, state of active wakefulness, analysis, often stress, you gradually transition to alpha waves, state of relaxation, creativity, light meditation, and with deeper practice, to theta waves, state of deep meditation, hypnosis, access to the subconscious. It is in these slower wave states, as he explains, that we are most receptive to intuitive insights and information from the quantum field. Create heart and brain coherence. Many of his meditative techniques are aimed at activating the heart center, at consciously cultivating elevated emotions. As we have already discussed, this leads to a state of coherence, where the heart and brain work in unison, enhancing your ability to perceive and create. Overcome and rewrite subconscious programs. In a state of deep meditation, you can access your limiting beliefs and emotional blocks, and not just realize them, but begin to consciously transform them, creating new, more resourceful neural pathways, new programs that correspond to your desired future. Meditation, in Dr. Dispenza's understanding, is not an escape from reality, as some think. On the contrary, it is a deep dive into the true nature of reality. It is a daily training of your consciousness. It is the creation of an inner space where you can finally hear the quiet but insistent voice of the universe, showing you the path to your greatness. It is a practice that allows you to become transparent to those signals that have always been here. You were just too absorbed in the noise to notice them. Part 3. You are an active creator, not a passive receiver of signs. The very phrase, "you have been chosen," can create the false impression that some omnipotent external force has arbitrarily pointed its finger at you. But Dr. Joe Dispenza urges us to understand this much more deeply, from the perspective of a creator. Yes, the universe, the quantum field, certainly responds, but it responds to you, to your energy, to the quality of your thoughts, to the vibration of your feelings, to your overall state of being. You are not just a passive puppet, awaiting grace or luck from above. You are an active, powerful co-creator of your reality. And those signs that you begin to notice are direct confirmation that your conscious creative process is gaining strength and moving in the right direction. Think of it this way, as Dr. Dispenza teaches, each of you is a unique electromagnetic station that, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, emits certain signals into the surrounding quantum field. Your thoughts are the electrical component of this signal. Your feelings and emotions are the magnetic component. Together, they create your unique electromagnetic signature, your current state of being. And this signature, like a powerful magnet, attracts from the limitless field of potentials those events, those people, that information, those circumstances that energetically correspond to it. If day after day you live in a state of fear, lack, resentment, envy, your electromagnetic signature will be low, heavy, and you will inevitably attract situations into your life that confirm these negative states. You will see signs of problems, obstacles, and disappointments around you. But as soon as you begin to consciously, purposefully cultivate feelings of joy, gratitude, abundance, love, inspiration within yourself, as soon as you begin to think and feel as if your boldest and most beautiful future has already arrived, your electromagnetic signature changes radically. You begin to vibrate at a new, higher, more coherent frequency. And then the quantum field, according to Dr. Dispenza, begins to respond in a completely different way. It begins to send you signs corresponding to your new elevated state. You have been chosen, not because you suddenly became special in some mystical, predetermined sense. Number, you made yourself special. You chose yourself by consciously changing your inner attunement, your energy. You made the transition from the habitual state of survival to the powerful state of creation. You ceased to be a product of your past, a victim of circumstances, and declared your divine right to be the creator of your destiny. Two fundamental components play a key, decisive role in this process, as Dr. Dispenza tirelessly emphasizes. A clear, unwavering intention. You must know absolutely clearly what you want to achieve, who you want to become. This should not be a vague, fuzzy desire to be happy or have more money. Number. It must be a concrete, detailed, almost tangible vision of your future self, your future life, your contribution to this world. This intention is the powerful electrical signal you send into the quantum field. An elevated, sincere emotion. Simply thinking about what you desire, visualizing it, is not enough. You must feel it as if it were already a reality. You must bathe in the emotions of joy, gratitude, love, elation, freedom that you will experience when your intention is embodied. These elevated emotions, as Dr. Dispenza explains, carry an incredibly powerful magnetic charge. When your clear intention, electricity, connects with an elevated emotion, magnetism, you create a coherent electromagnetic signal of such power that the quantum field cannot help but respond. It is this coherent, energy-charged signal that causes the quantum field to notice you, to resonate with you, to organize events, people, and circumstances in such a way that your vision, your intention, is embodied in three-dimensional reality. Signs are the first harbingers, the first confirmations that your message has been heard, that you have successfully tuned into the frequency of your future. Therefore, when you see a sign, when a synchronistic event occurs, celebrate. It's not just blind luck. It is a direct result of your conscious inner work. It is irrefutable proof of your power as a creator. Part 4. Deciphering the language of the universe. Developing intuition and awareness. So, you have begun your inner work. You meditate, you create heart and brain coherence, you send out clear intentions backed by elevated emotions. And now, signs begin to appear in your life. Unexpected, sometimes surprising coincidences, repeating numbers that follow you everywhere, songs on the radio whose lyrics seem written especially for you, answering your unasked question, a phrase overheard from a stranger that hits the mark perfectly, sudden insights that seem to come from nowhere. But how do you know if this is really that very sign you've been waiting for, and not just a product of your overactive imagination or a trivial coincidence? How can you learn to confidently decipher this subtle, symbolic language in which the universe communicates with us based on the teachings of Dr. Joe Dispenza? Here, your two most important tools come to the fore: your intuition and your capacity for heightened awareness. Dr. Dispenza constantly emphasizes that intuition is not some mystical esotericism accessible only to the chosen few. It is the result of a highly organized, coordinated work of your brain and body. It is your innate ability to capture information beyond the limitations of our 5 physical senses. It is your inner compass, your direct channel of communication with the quantum field. Here are a few practical guidelines he offers for developing this ability and the skill to distinguish genuine, significant signs. Pay attention to the feeling of inner knowing or resonance. A genuine sign is often accompanied by an instantaneous, deep inner feeling. Yes, this is it. This is important. This is definitely for me. This is not a logical conclusion, not the result of long analysis. It is a sudden, almost physical insight, a feeling of deep resonance that comes from the very core of your being. Your body might react, goosebumps, a sudden warmth in the heart area, a feeling of expansion, lightness, or conversely, an alarm signal if something is not right. Learn to trust these bodily responses. Look for patterns, repetitions, and meaningful connections. A single random sign, taken out of context, can indeed be just a coincidence. But if you start noticing whole series of repeating themes, symbols, numbers, messages coming from very different, unrelated sources, but all pointing in the same direction, this is a serious reason to pay close attention. The universe is often persistent and inventive in its messages. Monitor your dreams and morning liminal states. In a state of sleep, as well as in those precious moments immediately after waking or before falling asleep, when your analytical mind is not yet fully active or is already beginning to calm down, you, as Dr. Dispenza explains, are most open to information from your subconscious and directly from the quantum field. Make it a habit to write down your dreams, even if they seem meaningless. Pay attention to ideas, images, feelings that come in these liminal states. Develop what Dr. Dispenza calls quantum observation. Be more consciously attentive to what is happening around you and within you. Don't rush, slow down, observe. Sometimes the most important signs come in the most ordinary, unexpected forms, through a sign on a passing car, through the behavior of a bird outside the window, through a randomly opened page of a book, through the words of a child. The higher your level of daily awareness, the more subtle details and signs you will begin to notice. Learn to distinguish genuine intuition from the voice of fear or obsessive desire. Sometimes we can mistake our fears for an intuitive warning, or conversely, a strong desire can make us see signs where there are none. Remember, genuine intuition is usually calm, clear, neutral. It comes as quiet knowing. Fear and strong, impatient desire are often accompanied by anxiety, tension, restlessness, obsessive thoughts. Meditation, as Dr. Dispenza teaches, is the best way to learn to distinguish these inner voices, as it creates inner silence in which the voice of intuition becomes clearer. Test signs through inner questioning, if appropriate. If a sign seems important to you, but you are unsure of its interpretation or what action it implies, ask the universe for additional confirmation or clarification. Formulate a clear, sincere request in a state of openness and trust, and be attentive to the answers that may come within the next few hours or days. But do not turn this into an endless game of guesswork or a way to avoid responsibility for making decisions. The main criterion is your deep inner feeling of rightness. Avoid excessive analysis and mental rumination. As soon as you start analyzing a received sign too diligently, dissecting it with logic, you again risk turning on the noise of your analytical mind, which can distort, devalue, or completely block the subtle message. Dr. Dispenza advises trusting the first impulse, the first intuitive feeling that arose when you encountered the sign. Remember, the language in which the universe communicates with us is the language of energy, vibrations, symbols, feelings, and states. It does not always obey the laws of linear logic of our everyday consciousness, but it is always incredibly accurate and always aimed at your highest good, your development, the unfolding of your potential. Your main task is to learn to be a sensitive, aware receiver of these messages, to develop trust in your inner knowing, and to allow these signs to gently but surely guide you to that important thing that the universe has lovingly prepared for you. Part 5. From Sign to Action. Embodying your important destiny. Noticing a sign, feeling its profound significance, deciphering its message, these are incredibly important and exciting stages. But the real magic, that very transformation of your life forever that we are talking about, begins when you turn this message received from the universe into concrete, conscious action. A sign, as Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches, is not just information for passive contemplation. It is an active invitation to dance. It is an energetic push. It is a bright indicator on the doors that are opening before you right now, doors to your new future. How not to miss this precious moment, how to correctly interpret the received sign in the context of your unique life, your goals and aspirations, and, most importantly, how to take the next confident step towards that important thing for which the universe is so persistently preparing you. Connect the received sign with your deepest intention. First of all, return to what you have been consciously working on lately. What did you ask the universe for? What future self were you creating and rehearsing in your meditations, in your thoughts and feelings? Very often, as Dr. Dispenza explains, signs come as a direct answer, as an echo, as confirmation of your inner request. If you have been working for a long time on attracting new career opportunities, and suddenly an old acquaintance calls you with a completely unexpected but very interesting offer, this may be the very sign you have been waiting for. Listen to your expanded, sharpened intuition. After you have noticed and acknowledged the sign, take time for inner silence, perhaps a special meditation. Formulate an inner question. What does this specifically mean for me at this moment in my life? What is the most correct, most inspiring next step I should take? The answer often comes not as a complex logical conclusion, but as clear, calm inner knowing, as an intuitive urge to a certain action. Be ready and dare to step out of your comfort zone. Understand one important thing that Dr. Dispenza constantly emphasizes. Very often, signs from the universe point to a path that will require courage, determination, changes, and a rejection of old, familiar, but no longer effective behavioral patterns. The universe will not lead you to your greatness along the well-trodden, safe path of your past. If the received sign or the opened opportunity frightens you a little with its novelty, its scale, its seeming unreality, this is a very good sign. It means you are on the threshold of something truly new, something that can expand your boundaries. Take the first step, even if it seems small and insignificant to you. You don't need to see the whole staircase leading to the top right away. It is enough to take the first, most obvious step in the direction indicated by the sign. This could be a simple phone call, an email sent, enrolling in a course that has long attracted you, starting an important conversation that you have constantly postponed. Any action taken in response to a sign is your answer to the universe, your loud yes to its proposal. And it is this first action, as Dr. Dispenza teaches, that generates a chain reaction. It attracts new signs, new opportunities, new people. Trust the process and cultivate patience combined with faith, creating a new reality, embodying your important thing, is not always an instant sprint. More often it is a marathon, requiring consistency, faith, and patience. Not all signs will be as bright and obvious as the first. Some will be subtle, barely perceptible, requiring your attention. It is important to maintain a state of openness, awareness, and unwavering faith that you are guided and supported. Even if you do not see immediate, stunning results, continue your daily inner work. Continue to follow the signs that are revealed to you. Practice deep gratitude for every sign, for every synchronicity. Gratitude, according to Dr. Dispenza, is one of the most powerful and creative emotions. It not only raises your own vibration, but also strengthens your connection with the quantum field, attracting even more good, even more support into your life. When you sincerely give thanks for the signs received, you send a signal to the universe that you value its guidance, that you are open and ready for an even greater flow of gifts. Remember, my dear friends, you have been chosen not to remain a passive, doubting observer of your life. You have been chosen for active, joyful co-creation. The universe is preparing you for something truly important, but this important thing cannot manifest without your conscious, courageous participation. Signs are your personal roadmap, drawn with love and wisdom. Your task is to learn to read it with an open heart, a clear mind, and determination in your actions, and then your life will truly change, forever. You will become not just a dreamer, but a living embodiment of your highest potential, that radiant, powerful being you were always destined to become. Conclusion: the journey's outcome and a look ahead. Today we have touched upon an amazing, profound mystery, the mystery of our living, dynamic interaction with the universe, with this limitless, intelligent field of consciousness and energy that surrounds and permeates us. We have seen that those signs we begin to notice in our lives, those synchronicities that make us freeze in awestruck wonder, are not blind accidents at all. They are, as Dr. Joe Dispenza explains, a meaningful, purposeful language in which the universe speaks to us, confirming that we are on the right path, that our inner transformation, our work on ourselves, has begun to bear visible fruit. Awakening to synchronicity is a sure sign that you have dared to go beyond the narrow confines of your past self, that you have consciously begun to vibrate at a new, higher frequency, full of love, gratitude, inspiration, and unwavering faith in your future. It is irrefutable proof that you are ready for something more, for something truly important and significant. The idea you have been chosen is not about some external passive chosenness number. It is about your inner, conscious choice to become the main creator of your reality. It is about your awakened courage to respond to the deep, insistent call of your heart and your soul. As Dr. Dispenza tirelessly repeats, each of us has all the necessary tools to change our lives beyond recognition: the limitless power of our consciousness, the amazing ability of our brain for neuroplasticity, the inexhaustible possibilities of the quantum field. The signs you receive are merely precious milestones on this exciting path, indicating that you are confidently moving in the right direction, straight towards your greatness. Remember, you are never alone on this journey. The universe is always with you, always ready to guide, suggest, and support. Your main task is to learn to listen to its whisper, trust its wisdom, and act boldly in accordance with its prompts. And then limitless, previously unimaginable possibilities will become your everyday, joyful reality. You are a powerful creator, and this sign, this our conversation today, perhaps, is exactly what you have been waiting for so long to fully and unconditionally realize this. And now, under this video in the comments, please. This is a truly colossal request to each of you. Write about the signs you've started noticing. If you want this immersion into Dr. Dispenza's teachings to be truly highly effective, so that it doesn't just pass you by but genuinely changes the quality of your life, then what we're going to talk about next is incredibly important. You can. This means sharing what you're thinking, what you're experiencing. Listen to me carefully. The point here is that when you then read the responses of 250 people, you suddenly realize, wow, how could one see that sign like that? And how could one feel when the universe knocks? What conclusions, it turns out, could be drawn from what seemed like a simple coincidence? And you become acquainted with a completely different way of thinking on this profound topic of synchronicity, on the topic of your destiny. That's where the experience lies. That's the new organization of your mental system, your perception of reality. Therefore, your number one task, if you truly want change, if you truly feel that you have been chosen for something greater, right, I noticed such and such a sign. It was something subtle like a whisper, or conversely, an event that simply shook me to my core, and I think this is leading me here. There will be many other responses. Someone will write, I received a sign, but I got scared. And you, reading this, will realize that you are not alone in your doubts. And someone else will share, I took this small step after the sign, and I felt an incredible surge of energy. Yes, and you will then notice that even the tiniest step in response to the universe's call makes you immeasurably stronger and more effective in creating your destiny. Therefore, the more you share under this video how signs are coming into your life, how you feel them, how you try to interpret them, what very first, smallest, yet bravest step you are ready to take today, right now, to answer this call from the universe. I promise you, it will be incredibly interesting. It will be very unusual. Together, we will explore this amazing language in which the universe speaks to us. I will read your stories, your insights, and perhaps, somewhere, guide or comment. From the bottom of my heart, I wish all of you a life of absolute quality, filled with meaning and wonders. And I earnestly ask those who can, who feel this impulse, please repost this video, forward it to friends, to those who you feel are also on the verge of something important, who are also looking for their sign. Let's create one single, powerful wave of awareness and transformation. The more of us there are, the more people participate in this dialogue with the universe and with each other. This is a priceless exchange of energy and experience. The more people write, the more interesting, unexpected, and perhaps fundamentally important for everyone this shared program of awakening will become. I promise that every word, every story will matter. Thank you for dedicating your precious time to this deep dive. Believe in yourselves limitlessly. Believe in the signs that are sent to you. Believe in your inalienable right to greatness. And until new, inspiring meetings on the path to your best future,